Evolution is a fact, and I mean, I'm very worried when people say it's only a theory. I mean, we've got to stop calling it a theory. It is a fact. The evidence for it is utterly, utterly massive. People sometimes say you can't see it happening. Even that's not true. But even if that was true, it's like a detective coming on the scene of a crime after it's happened. You can't actually see the murder being committed, but there's massive millions of pieces of evidence that so-and-so did the crime.
You sort of can see it happening in selective breeding with dogs.
Oh, you can see it happening.
It's
so
like,
I said what
do they think's happening there?
Exactly.
I mean, that is you can see the mating, you can see the dog come out, and you can see the result.
You can see the result. You can see that a Pekingese is actually a wolf, and
absolutely. Yeah. All dogs. I mean, all dogs.
That the most remarkable.
It is remarkable. And Darwin himself made great use of domestication. But nowadays we have evidence that wasn't available to Darwin. Especially, I think, most powerful evidence is molecular genetics, where you look at the actual letter-by-letter sequence of coded information.
And so,
species.
How did they first see the double helix? How did they? I mean, now we've got mapping. We can take out a gene and see the. So briefly for our listeners, very briefly, take us from finding out about DNA to seeing it, to being able to change it and manipulate it.
After Watson and Crick in 1953, people got the secret of how to actually sequence DNA. You can actually look at the letter-by-letter sequence, billions and billions of letters. It literally is text. And so when you've got different text, you've got the text of a mole and a shrew, a text of a rat and a mouse, text of a human.
Like a computer program to do something or
It's
not.
all done by a computer, yes.
Yeah.
And so you compare letter by letter, and you see that if you compare a particular molecule, a particular gene in a chimpanzee and a human, almost all the letters are the same, but just a few are different.
98.6%.
Something like that. It depends how you count it. And then look at a monkey and it's a bit more different. And you look at a kangaroo and it's more different still. But you can actually count up the number of letters that are different between any species and any other species. And when you look at the pattern, it's a beautiful hierarchy, a cluster hierarchy. And what could that be but a family tree? It's got to be a family tree. Everything fits. Everything fits. Similarly, the geographical distribution, Darwin was well aware of this, the geographical distribution of species of animals and plants, they are distributed on the islands and continents of the world in exactly the way they would be distributed if they had evolved, rather than if they'd been planted there by a creator.
And apart from like geographical barriers creating different gene pools, can you explain very briefly what a genetic mutation is? What happens there?
A mutation is a random change in a gene, and it's random in the sense that it's not directed towards improvement, not specifically directed towards improvement. It's caused by the laws of physics. In that sense, it's not random, but it is random in the sense that it's not directed towards improvement. What is directed towards improvement is natural selection. Natural selection comes along after mutation and picks those random changes, those random mistakes, they're quite rare, which happen to be improvements. And that's why leopards are so good at hunting, why antelopes are so good at escaping from leopards, why bees are so good at finding pollen and nectar and so on.